Hi, it's Crystal from All Bodies Welcome Hair Removal here in Campbell in the Bay Area. It's like day 29, I think, of the quarantine. I don't even remember now. Yeah, it's crazy. We're all ready for this to be over. I'm hoping the next 30 days we'll be able to get back to work. So tonight I thought we'd talk about what we discussed during a consultation in my office. Most appointments start with a consult, and I usually charge $50 for a consultation, and they go anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Totally depends on the situation. But one of the first things we talk about in a consultation is your hair goals. What are your goals to removing your hair? Which hair do you want removed? Where do you want to start? I guess it's like, what is your major pain point? What is making you the most intense and ragey or upset or uncomfortable? Whatever those hairs are, that's where we want to start, right? We want to start with what's bothering you the most. Which hair, if for you, your extra hair, do you want gone sooner than later? And sometimes people do get started and they kind of start to go, okay, well, as long as you're working on my mustache, why don't you work on my chin? And they get kind of like excited by it because it's a good feeling once the hair is gone that you don't want there. I know for myself, I had my mentor remove my goatee and my kitty whiskers and my neck beard hairs, and it felt so good to have it gone. So a lot of times once people get started, they don't want to stop because they love how good it feels to have these hairs gone. So usually we start with your hair goals. I make up a little form, I fill it out, or I have you fill parts of it out, and I ask you, what's most important to you, what hair's bothering you, and then you write down like beard or mustache or jawline or eyebrows, underarms. We kind of, prioritize those hair goals. We like to document it, and if you don't mind, like take a couple pictures so we can have good documentation for before and after. If you allow me to, I will ask you for permission to share them on my social media, but never where people could identify you, and also always with your permission. I can't just, go and post your pictures without your written approval and a signature from you. So no need to worry there. I'd like to also talk to you about how have you been removing your hair? What have you been doing these last few years? Have you been shaving it off? Have you been plucking it off? Have you been tweezing it off? Have you been leaving it alone? Oh, I just think these videos are not going to age well if my hair doesn't look cute. Oh well, we're not here to talk about my hair. We're here to talk about your hair. So yeah, I like to find out. I need to learn to stop doing that sound too. It's really annoying. So I need to learn, what's most important to you. What have you been doing to remove it? How long you've been working at removing it? For some people, they'll say, I've been trying to remove this hair for 10 years. They've thrown everything at it, the laser and waxing and sugaring and plucking and everything else. So we kind of just like to document all of that. And then I like to also ask you, like, what kind of acne treatments you've been doing. If you have acne or adult acne, we need to make sure I know exactly what you've been doing to your skin so I can, document that as well. There's some things we might have to wait a little while. If you've done some like fractal or those more intense peels, we might need to wait another week or two before we get started. And we always want to make sure you're only doing one thing at a time to your skin. So, and also only seeing one electrologist at one time, because then we can't really know what's going on if you're also seeing somebody else. So, unless it's different areas of your body. If you come to me for your face and I want to just work on your face, if you go to someone else to work on other parts of your body, that's okay, as long as it's not the same part of the body. So yeah, we need all those things, and then the other thing that I have on my blog, and I'll put this in the notes later too, is you can go to my blog and you can look up a blog that I wrote about. It's called How Hairy Am I? And it has a score from like 1 to 4 on different parts of your body, how hairy you feel you are. Especially if we haven't met yet and you want to talk to me over the phone. And by the way, my phone number is 408-826-9087. And you can kind of go to the chart and you can say, oh, I'm like about a 4 on my mustache. I'm about a 3 on my underarms. And that gives me a better sense for when you are coming in, what to expect. And also easier for us to discuss goals and how long things will take. When I'm in my session, I do like to get your signature on the form, and then I do like to talk about where's the best way to do this? How human hair grows, and then how it grows in stages. You can see it's called anagen, catagen, and telogen. The best time to catch your hair is when it's in this stage, the anagen stage. This is my this is my ink. You might be able to tell. This is my Sharpie, where I'm smearing it all around here, because I'm trying to show how, of course, there's this one hair that's growing there, but there's also going to be lots of little hairs nearby too. And when we use my blend modality that I like to use, it might damage, it'll kill this hair most likely, but it might also sort of damage these other hairs in your body, which is a good thing. We want destruction, right? We want to make sure that this little papilla can never nourish another hair. And so I'm trying really hard to kill that with a chemical reaction so it doesn't grow any more hairs. But when the chemical is bubbling around in the layer here, it might also sort of disengage or disable or just at least kind of maybe handicap these hairs nearby, so they might grow in weaker, or maybe they won't grow back at all too, along with this one hair that we're targeting in your follicle. So I like to talk about this. I like to make sure everybody understands this, make sure they understand that electrolysis is not a one-time thing. It does take several appointments. In fact, most of the time it's going to take a good 6 months or a year, or maybe even 18 months to remove a particular area of your body. It depends a lot on how often you can come in, how often you can afford to come in, because electrolysis is not inexpensive. And here in 2020 in the Bay Area, we charge $120 an hour. I do have some packages and stuff to bring the rate down if you have a lot of hair to remove, or anytime you want to buy a package. But the retail rate that it's going on in the Bay Area is $120 an hour. So we want to make sure we can find ways to do this for you more affordably. So you can always talk about your goals and how much you think you want to remove and how it works. But it does get removed in stages, because if we can't always catch it in this stage and we catch it in these other stages, that means these hairs are going to grow back. And we're going to have to keep trying to kill it. We might have to try to kill it a couple times. So it's not a fast service, but it is permanent. Electrolysis is permanent hair removal. Laser is hair diminishment. So with electrology, it might be a little slower, but they're going to be permanently gone. With laser, you can remove a lot more hair quickly, but it's a high likelihood that it's going to come back. Because we actually go in one follicle at a time, and we zap this little papilla, it's called, the dermal papilla, and it's filled with collagen and germ cells. We want to zap it with my probe, and the probe brings electricity from my machine to this area down here, and it creates lye, and the lye is like a little chemical reaction, and the chemicals are what kills the papilla, so it can never nourish another hair. So I like to talk about all of this in my consultation. That way, if we start going along, and you're 6 or 8 appointments in, and you say, "Gosh, I don't feel like we're seeing any, I don't see any permanent hair removal." I remind you, let's talk about how this works. It's not an overnight sensation. It's not like going to get a Brazilian wax, which comes back in 4 weeks anyway. If you're plucking your hair a lot and tweezing your hair a lot, if you're going to be in treatment, we need you to stop plucking. No removing your hair by the bulb, so no sugaring, no plucking, no waxing. The only thing you can do when you are in treatment is shave the hair off that's bothering you. You can also trim it, and some people believe it's okay to bleach it. It depends on who you're talking to in the industry. There seems to be 2 camps on the bleaching. But just don't remove the hair by the bulb, because when you remove the hair by the bulb, there's nothing for me to treat later. And if you think that, let's assume that on the average each hair takes 13 weeks to grow back. Once you pluck a hair, I can't treat it again for 13 weeks. So no plucking, no waxing, no removing it by the bulb during treatment. Those are some of the things we talk about during the consultation. Once you get into my office and we're talking and we go through these goals, you sign the form, and we talk about how hair grows, we talk about how electrolysis works, then I like to get you on my table, and I like to remove 10 to 15 hairs during the consultation to find the right settings for you, to find your tolerance, how it feels to you. Some people feel like it's nothing. Some people love it, like a tattoo. Most people don't find it super painful. A lot of people find it uncomfortable, but not painful. I'm just going to tell you, if you ever have hair removed right here, that's a little more painful. But, usually we have taken a lot of, we've done, what I'm probably trying to say, but just that we've survived a lot by the time you come see me for hair removal, and I have a feeling you're going to be able to handle it okay. It's not that bad. And our machines are a lot more updated. If you ever talk to your grandma or your great-grandma, how about what electrolysis is like, they're going to tell you it hurts like hell, but not anymore. The machines are so much better. It's such good control over electricity. And the practitioners, we have to go to 600 hours of school, so it doesn't hurt like it used to hurt in the old days. I think that's about it. I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. And if you have any questions about what it's like to come for a consultation, give me a call, text me at 408-826-9087. My office is in Campbell. I'm in the Bay Area, and I would love to help you out once the quarantine is over. Talk to you guys soon. Good night.